Good morning, friends. Today's class is the pharmacological uh, treatment of hypertension. You can say pharmacology of hypertension, or you can say drugs used for the hypertension. Uh, Blood pressure. What is the blood pressure? It is the pressure exerted by the uh, blood on the wall of the blood vessels on the resting stage. And when we are discussing about the blood pressure, it is the product of the two things. One is the cardiac output and the peripheral resistance. And this hypertension, it is maybe minimized, maybe managed by either reducing the cardiac output or by decreasing the peripheral resistance. And most of the patients are the asymptomatic, and they don't feel for the any treatment, and particularly when they feel weakness, sleepy, and forgetfulness and impotence, that is the primary symptoms appear during the chronic hypertension. When you are discussing about the hypertension, it is two types. One is the essential, one is the secondary hypertension. Essential hypertension, it may be by unknown origin, and the secondary hypertension, it is by the particular disorder, like the pregnancy. And other are the environmental factor after the chronic exposure of the stress, office stress or other stress, which leads to the persistent increase in the central sympathetic outflow, which may lead to the hypertension or increase the sodium intake in the diet. Obesity and smoking, these are the environmental factors which leads to the hypertension. Why the control is mandatory? Control is mandatory because it may lead to the damage of the endothelium, not epithelium. It is the endothelium. That is the innermost lining of the blood vessel. That is the endothelium. It is, by mistakenly, it is written as epithelium. And it may lead to the atherosclerosis, ischemic heart disease, even the nephropathy, neuropathy, retinopathy, other things, and that may lead to the CHF, congestive heart failure. It has been seen that in most of the patient or hypertensive patient, there is a persistent increase the central sympathetic outflow, and it means the central discharge of the norepinephrine is there, and which leads to the constriction of the arteries that causes the arterial resistance, and which leads to the direct elevation of the blood pressure. And when this norepinephrine constricts the veins, you see, when vein get constricted, venous return to the myocardium get increased. When venous return to the myocardium get increased, cardiac output get increased. And when this norepinephrine act on the beta 1 cells of the JJ cells of the kidney, it may enhance the renin and angiotensin 2 that produce an aldosterone. This angiotensin 2 and aldosterone itself act on the kidney, further inhibit the sodium excretion and water excretion, or you can say enhance the water and sodium absorption. And this angiotensin 2 itself is a potent vasoconstrictor. It acts on the blood vessels, both veins and artery, and may lead to the increase the blood pressure. And apart from the increasing of the blood pressure due to the continuous elevated level of the angiotensin 2, with having the proto-oncogenic activity, and may proliferate the myocytes, and which after the chronic hypertension, patient may suffer from the hypertrophy, myocardial hypertrophy. This is the system how the blood pressure gets regulated. You see, the blood pressure get regulated by the major things, that is the baroreceptor present into the arch of the aorta or the carotid artery. And when the blood pressure is the baroreceptor here, when the pressure get elevated, it activated the NTS system, nucleus tractus solitarius, and through the NTS it further inhibit the central sympathetic discharge, or you can say peripheral release of the norepinephrine. And you can say when the blood pressure get elevated, sympathetic system get control. What are the principle of the treatment of the hypertension? It is very easy to treat the hypertension, but it is equally difficult to manage of the hypertension. And primary thing is you can manage the hypertension when it is pre-hypertension, a pre-hypertensive stage, by the lifestyle changes, lifestyle management. Otherwise, it may lead to the other secondary complications. And we are discussing about the cutoff point, and this is the it is very difficult when the blood pressure, especially diastolic blood pressure, get fall down 60 or 65 to 60 or below the 60, and that leads to the increase the cardiovascular events. It is very optimal when you manage the diastolic blood pressure up to the 70 to the F. One is the white coat hypertension, and it has been seen the most of the patient, that is hypertensive patient, near about 20 to 25% of the patient are suffering from the white coat hypertension. That is the stress induced hypertension, or stress during the office stress. That is the near about 20% of the peoples are suffering from the white coat hypertension. And pre-hypertension, when the blood pressure, systolic blood pressure is 120 to 139, or diastolic blood pressure 80 to 89, you can say at the resting stage, you can say this condition may be considered as a pre-hypertensive stage. And it means there is no need for the initial giving of the any drug. You can manage this type of the patient, this type of the condition by the lifestyle management. And it is the questions when the blood pressure, diastolic blood pressure is near about to 90 and systolic blood pressure is near about 140 at the resting conditions, is there a need of any drug? That is the questions. And we can manage this type of the conditions by the lifestyle management. And when the systolic blood pressure, that is the 115, and diastolic blood pressure near about 275, when every increase in the near about 20 mm of Sg of this type of systolic blood pressure, and every elevation of the 10 mm of Sg of the diastolic blood pressure, the cardiovascular risk get increased as to the double. You see the effect of the systolic blood pressure reduction on the this incidence of the stroke and ischemic heart disease. And you see these are the percentage reduction of the systolic blood pressure, that it is the percentage decreases of the chances of the stroke and the chronic heart disease. It is the reduction of the you see the systolic blood pressure, it is the reduction of the diastolic blood pressure, and that is reduction of the chronic heart disease chances and the stroke. And the reduction of the diastolic blood pressure, that is the fall in the incidence of the chronic heart disease or the stroke. You see congestive heart, ischemic heart disease and stroke. And it is very good when you give the combination of the low dose of the drug to fall in the either diastolic blood pressure in comparison to the increase of the single drug dose. When you increase a single dose of a single drug, instead of falling on the either diastolic and systolic blood pressure, the adverse effect get increased. It is very good when you use low dose of the combination of the drug, that is very effective in managing of the blood pressure, both systolic as well as diastolic blood pressure, and without exerting any adverse effect. Lifestyle management. Lifestyle management is very effective things, especially if the persons having the prehypertensive stage, and if a person having the hypertension, and when you give the drug, and you can advise the lifestyle changes, especially for the obese, diabetic and hyperlipidemic persons. It is very effective. And it has been seen when you decrease the sodium intake near about half of the average intake of the sodium chloride, that is the 10 gram per day, when you decrease to 7 gram per day, incidence of the stroke get fall down near about 5 to 15%, and incidence of the ischemic heart disease get fall down 10 to 20% when you decrease the sodium intake, especially in the black peoples. These are the non-drug therapies. First thing is the weight reduction. Second thing is the reduction of the sodium chloride, or you can say reduction of the sodium in the diet. And when you decrease the sodium intake from 10 gram to 5 gram or to 2 gram of the daily intake of the sodium, it can decrease the systolic blood pressure up to 7 and diastolic blood pressure up to 4 millimeter of the Hg, even without giving any drug or without starting any physical exercise. You can include a high vegetable diet, you can include aerobic exercise, you can avoid the smoking and avoid the drinking. These are the non-pharmacological management of the hypertension. Friends, earlier it was very difficult to select the drug, and the combination of the drug in different condition of the hypertension. A lot of the money and a lot of the time already has been spent, and it was believed that the reduction of the sympathetic nervous system may be, or you can say reduction of the central sympathetic outflow may be very effective for management of the hypertension, but it was no longer considered as a first line as antihypertensive treatment. Central sympathetic sympatholytic, due to their side effect, it also not considered as a very good drug for the treatment of the hypertension. When we are discussing about the alpha blocker is very good, but it is unable to prevent the ischemic heart diseases, or you can say cardiovascular event. When we are discussing about the beta blocker is very good, but it unable to prevent the stroke like of the condition. That are the limitation of the alpha blocker as well as the beta blocker. And British Society of the Hypertension, along with the National Institute of the Excellence of the United Kingdom, they frame a guideline, that is the ACD guideline. A means angiotensin blocker or angiotensin inhibitor. C denote the calcium channel blocker. D denote the diuretics. You can start from the either angiotensin blocker or angiotensin inhibitor, AC inhibitor, or the calcium channel blocker, or the diuretics. according to the need of the patient. And according to the JNC, it has been decided that you can start the low dose of the thiazide as the first choice of the drug. Even in the United Kingdom, most of the physicians are not prescribing the diuretics as a first choice of the drug. And basic thing about the diuretics, because of the secondary complication, adverse effect, like as the metabolic adverse effect, hyperglycemia, hyperlipidemia, hyperuricemia. Another things is the late onset of the action. Diuretics is not considered as a first choice of the drug. We can use beta blocker as a first choice of the drug for the management of the hypertension, especially of those patients having the incidence or having the risk of the myocardial infarction of the heart failure. Otherwise, calcium channel blocker, it is the first choice of the drug, especially for the elder people, and it is equally effective in the prevention of the stroke and other cardiovascular complications. And it is the AC inhibitor and angiotensin blocker. It is very effective drug and considered as a first line of the drug. You can give either the combination with the calcium channel blocker or the diuretics. These are the strategies for the management of the hypertension. First, in the pre-hypertension cases, you can start the lifestyle changes and assess the risk factor. That is the target organ damage, that is the left ventricular hypertrophy is not, myocardial infarction and high coronary risk, heart failure, stroke and renal failure. And when this blood pressure near about 140 to 90 or greater than 130 to 80, even you can start the single drug therapy. If it get not managed and when the condition get increased more than 160 of the systolic and 100 of the diastolic, we can add other drug, that is the two drug combination. And even the condition get worse and the systolic blood pressure get increased 180 and diastolic blood pressure get increased near about 110 at the resting condition, you can include triple drug therapy. These are the classification of the drug. Diuretics: thiazide, hydrochlorothiazide, chlorthalidone, idapamide, high ceiling diuretics, furosemide, potassium sparing diuretics, spironolactone, trimethoprim, amiloride, angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitor, captopril, enalapril, lisinopril, ramipril, fosinopril, angiotensin blocker, that is losartan, candesartan, valsartan, telmisartan, centrally acting drug is the clonidine and methyl-dopa. Beta blocker, maybe non-selective propranolol drug. Another drug is the nodenolol, timolol, pindolol, labetalol. Cardioselective beta blocker, atenolol, esmolol, betoxolol. Alpha-adrenergic blocker, that is the prazosin, tirazosin, doxazosin, phenoxybenzaimine, and phentolamine. Calcium channel blocker, verapamil, diltiazem, nifedipine, felodipine, amlodipine, and so on and so forth. Potassium channel opener, digoxide, minoxidil, pinacetyl, nucorandil like drug. And vasodilator are hydrologene with arterial vasodilator and sodium nitroprusside with the preferably venodilator. These are the drugs. First drug is the diuretics. According to JNC 7, and diuretics may be the first choice of the drug. Diuretics decreases the sodium and water retention, and you see the decreases the blood volume. When blood volume get decreases, cardiac output get decreases. When cardiac output get decreases, blood pressure get decreases. When you give the single drug therapy of the diuretics in the hypertensive patient, this patient develop resistance within 4 to 6 weeks, and the elevated level of the renin is there, and cardiac output get normalized, and even at that condition blood pressure get normalized, fall down. It is due to the decrease the vasoconstrictive responsiveness of the blood vessels. You can say the plasma level of the sodium get fall down. That is the major mechanism of action of the diuretics. Diuretics is very effective drug, but having the adverse effect, several adverse effect, even the metabolic adverse effect, that is the hyperglycemia, hyperlipidemia, hyperuricemia, and even the tertiary pointers due to the chronic use of the thiazide-like drug because of the hypokalemia. And especially this type of the metabolic disorder in the case of the using of this diuretics of higher dose, near about 50 to 100 mg of the thiazide-like drug. When we are discussing about the hydrochlorothiazide, and it is very good drug in the lower dose, near about 12.5 mg. That is the drug. When you increase the dose near about 25 or 50 mmHg, its adverse effect get increases. And we can use this chlorothiazide in low dose with the other drugs, ACE inhibitor or angiotensin blocker or calcium channel blocker. Chlorthalidone, it is very effective drug at the dose of the 25 millimeter, and this drug may lead to the hypokalemia, diabetes mellitus, impotence, and that's why it is not used commonly. When you're discussing about the amiloride having the specific things, having the potassium retaining property, and this drug is very effective, and it is equally effective at the combination of the thiazide plus spironolactone, and that is the combination of the drug is preferred for in the case of the black peoples that are not sensitive toward the single drug treatment of the thiazide. And you give the amiloride alone, it having the equal efficacy of the combination of the thiazide with spironolactone. Idapamide is a modified thiazide drug, and it can consider as a vasodilating diuretics. It having the lipid neutral effect, but in the case of the hyperglycemia and hyperuricemia, it having the equal effect like the other thiazide-like drugs. Loop diuretics, furosemide is a good drug, but having the T-half is very poor, and it requires at least 3 times a day. And for avoiding of this type of the frequent using of the drug TDS, torsemide is a good drug. It is equally effective, and you can give OD. Other drug is the angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors. Here is the renin. Renin get releases from the JJ cells of the kidney. It get renin get releases when the renal arterial pressure get decrease the sodium level in the renal tubular fluid, or increase the renal sympathetic activity, nerve sympathetic activity. These are the factors which leads to the release of the renin from the JJ cells of the kidney. This renin converted the angiotensin to angiotensin first, and this angiotensin first get converted into angiotensin 2 by the angiotensin converting enzyme. This angiotensin 2 it may get metabolized by angiotensin 3, that is not very active substance, and this angiotensin 2 itself is a potent vasoconstrictor, and it constrict the blood vessels both vein and artery, and may increase the blood pressure. and it act on the kidney, increase the sodium and water retention, or it may produces to aldosterone, and this aldosterone further act on the kidney, increases the sodium and water retention. And in one hand it increases the sodium and water retention into the blood vessels and constrict the blood vessels, which leads to the increase the blood volume, and constrict the blood vessel leads to the rise in the blood pressure. Promote the this what is the effect of angiotensin 2? Promote the movement of the fluid from the vascular to the extravascular cells, increase the myocardial force of the contraction, increase the cardiac output, increase the aldosterone secretion, it vasoconstriction on the renal arteries, rise in intraguinal pressure, and decrease the nitric oxide release, increasing the thirst on the by acting on the using the hypothalamus, and having the mitogenic activity by its proto-oncogenic activity on the myocardium, which leads to the myocardial hypertrophy. This angiotensin 2 may lead to the cardiac hypertrophy, remodeling, coronary vascular damage or remodeling, hypertension, myocardial infarction, renal damage, and risk for the cardiovascular events. ACE inhibitor. These are the ACE inhibitor: captopril, enalapril, lisinopril. It inhibits the it blocks these ACE enzymes. Therefore, this angiotensin production of this angiotensin 2 get inhibited, and therefore you see the angiotensin mediated complications get inhibited. Captopril, it is sulfur hydryl containing dipeptide. It decreases the blood pressure without activating of the angiotensin receptor, and it get early absorbed near about 72 to 75%, and excreted partially in the unchanged form in the urine. Food may interfere its absorption. Half-life is 2 hours, but it is effective near about 6 to 12 hours. Cough is the major side effect of this type of the drug, especially captopril. Near about 20% of the cases suffering from the cough, hyperkalemia, hypotension, angioedema, rashes, urticaria, and dysusia. And it is the contraindicated in the case of the pregnancy, bilateral renal stenosis, and sensitivity and hyperkalemia. Enalapril, it's a prodrug converted to the enalaprilate. Enalaprilate is the active form of this enalapril, having the longer T half. It is near about good for the OD. Absorption does not affected by the food. Rashes and loss of the taste are less frequent, and longer onset of the action and less side effect. Lisinopril is a lysine derivative, not a prodrug. Slow oral absorption and less chances of the first dose phenomena. And absorption is not affected by the food, longer duration of the action. The first line, ACE inhibitor, is the first line of the drug. Does not produces any postal hypertension or the electrolyte imbalance. Safe in the asthmatic and diabetes mellitus. Prevention in the secondary hyperaldosteronism or the potassium loss. Reverse the vascular hypertrophy, ventricular hypertrophy. It is the only drug which can inhibit the proliferation of the myocardium. And no hyperuricemia or the plasma lipid profile has been seen, and no rebound hypertension has been seen. These are the drugs, different drugs, mechanism of action of different drugs. You see the diuretics, You see this diuretics decreases the sodium and water retention, and you can say sodium loss is there. And this beta blocker inhibit the renin release. This is the AC inhibitor which inhibit the conversion of angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2. And this is a ARB angiotensin blocker. It blocks the activity of angiotensin 2 on the angiotensin 1 receptor, and is the calcium channel blocker which block the entry of the calcium into the cells and prevent the vasoconstriction. These are the spironolactone like drug inhibit the activity of the aldosterone. The whole this drug how they act, these are the basic chart representation. That is the diuretics, beta blocker, AC inhibitor, angiotensin receptor blocker, and calcium channel blockers. Now comes on the angiotensin receptor blocker. And there are two types of the receptor, angiotensin 1 and angiotensin 2. Activation of the angiotensin 1 is responsible for the vasoconstriction. Activation of the angiotensin 2 is responsible for the vasodilation. And this angiotensin blocker block the angiotensin 1 receptor. You can say when it block the angiotensin 1 receptor, the angiotensin mediated vasoconstriction get subside, or you can say angiotensin are more abundantly blocked act on the angiotensin 2 receptor, which leads to the vasodilation. And these are the it act by the IP3-DAC pathway and reduces the calcium release, and the because angiotensin 2 is a potent vasoconstriction and blood vessels get dilated. And for the long-term effect, the angiotensin is having the proto-oncogenic activity on the myocardium by the MAP kinase pathway. When you block the angiotensin 1 on the myocardium, this type of the proliferation of the cardiomyocyte get inhibited. Losartan cuff is the very rare. Complete block the angiotensin 1 receptor and result in the direct activation of the angiotensin 2 receptor. You see the angiotensin 2 receptor is a vasodilator, and the heart rate does not change, CVS reflexes are not interfered, no significant effect on the plasma lipid layers, insulin sensitivity or the cardiovascular tolerance is there. There is a safe drug, and also having the mild uricosuric effect. These are the adverse effect. Phytopathic, don't give in the pregnancy. First dose effect is a very rare. Low dysgeusia or dry cough, low incidence of the angioedema, available into 25 to 50 mg. Beta blocker. Beta blocker is a very good drug, especially for the younger people, non-obese and younger people. There are two types of the beta blocker. One is the non-selective beta blocker, that is the propranolol like drug, notalol, timolol, and cardioselective like drug like that nolol, esmolol, betoxolol. Beta blocker block the beta 1 receptor on the heart and decrease the force of contraction, decrease the cardiac output. It block on the you see the beta 1 receptor of the JJ cells of the kidney, decrease the renin release, and when renin release get decreases, and renin angiotensin 2 system and aldosterone system get inhibited. Some of the beta blocker which can cross the blood-brain barrier, like the propranolol, decrease the central sympathetic outflow and therefore decrease the blood pressure. So friend, beta blocker exert its antihypertensive effect by three mechanisms. First, it blocks the beta 1 receptor of myocardium, decrease the force of the contraction. It decrease the cardiac output. It block on the JJ cell of the kidney, decrease the renin release. Some beta blocker, not all beta blocker, Those which can cross the blood-brain barrier like the propranolol decrease the central sympathetic outflow and therefore decrease the blood pressure. Advantage: no postural hypotension, no salt and water retention, once a day regimen is available, prefer in the young and non-obese person, and it is a drug of choice when those patients having the cardiovascular complications like the CHF and ischemic heart disease. Drawback: fatigue, lethargy, loss of the libido, even the importance of the chronic use of the beta blocker. Cognitive defect may be there, forgetfulness is there, difficult to stop suddenly, there is a reflex tachycardia may be there. Advantage: may be used in the asthma, may be used in the diabetes mellitus, may be used in the peripheral vascular diseases. And if the current status is the preferred in the young non-obese hypertensive patient, and the hypertensive patient having the angina pectoris or the other complication is there, beta blocker is the first choice of the drug. And the post myocardial infarction patient for the management of this type of the complications. In old person, carvedilol having the vasodilatory effect, it may be better. You see the beta blocker, this is beta blocker, act on the heart, decrease the heart rate, decrease the cardiac output, and decrease the stroke volume also. And this beta blocker act on the kidney, decrease the renin release and decrease the renin angiotensin aldosterone system. And some of the beta blocker which can cross the blood-brain barrier decrease the central sympathetic outflow. Friends, when you give the beta blocker alone without giving any alpha blockers, you see here a reflex systemic vascular resistance is there because of the unopposed action of the alpha receptor. There is a alpha mediated vasoconstriction is there due to the peripheral action of the norepinephrine on the blood vessels, especially by alpha receptor, and reflex vasoconstriction is there. After the longer term, when you block the beta receptor on the terminal neuron, you see when block the beta receptor on the terminal neuron, further release of the norepinephrine is prevented, and after the later on it decreases norepinephrine, and this type of the systemic vascular resistance get decreases and BP get fall down. That is the late effect of the beta blocker. Alpha blocker, especially alpha 1 blocker like the prazosin, terazosin, doxazosin. It blocks the alpha receptor on the periphery, and this alpha receptor are more abundantly present on the those blood vessels which are present on the periphery of the on the skin, would are present on the peripheral of the body like the skin, cutaneous blood vessels, where the alpha receptor is most abundantly present. And when we block the alpha receptor, blood vessels get dilated and leads to the decrease in the blood pressure. And major adverse effect is the postural hypertension, or you can the first dose effect, and fluid retention may be there, headache, dry mouth, weakness, blurred vision may be there. It is not a first choice of the drug, and it can use with the combination of either the diuretics or the beta blocker. You can see the calcium channel blocker. Calcium channel blocker broadly classified into 3 types. One is the phenylalkylamines, that is the verapamil. Phenylalkylamine, verapamil is the cardioselective drug, does not have any effect on the blood vessels. Benzodiazepine, it is a mixed drug, having the activity on the blood vessel and also having the effect on the cardiomyocytes. And this dihydropyridine and nifedipine, felodipine, amlodipine, and this type of the calcium channel blocker having the vasoselective effect, does not having any effect on the heart. You can say verapamil is a cardioselective, nifedipine, felodipine, amlodipine like drug is the vasoselective, and diltiazem having the mixed action. Calcium channel blocker, there is a three type of the calcium channel blocker receptors. One is the L type, T type and N type of the calcium channel blocker. Calcium channels, and T type of the calcium channel is responsible for the entrance of the calcium, that is responsible for the vasoconstrictions. And when we block the L type receptor, entry of the calcium into the cell get inhibited, and you see the blood vessels get dilated. Contractility of the myocardium get decreases. And dihydropyridine having the selective effect on the blood vessels, and verapamil having the selective effect on the heart, and diltiazem having the mixed actions. Advantage: no impairment in the work capacity, no sedation or any CNS complications, can be given to the asthma, anginal patient. Don't give nifedipine like drug into the angina patient. Maybe reflex tachycardia is there. If a patient is the hypertensive and having the ischemic heart disease, never use nifedipine like drug alone in higher dose, because nifedipine like drug, it leads to the peripheral vasodilation is there, and when peripheral vasodilation is there, there is a reflex tachycardia is there, and patient is having the ischemic heart disease, and the chances of the collapse. No renal and male sexual function impairment, and no fetal effect on the adverse effect on the fetal, and that is safe in the pregnancy. It is the first choice of the drug, especially for the elderly people, and are effective in even the low renin level is there, and they are the next to the ACE inhibitor in inhibition of the prevention of the albuminuria and the prevention of the diabetic nephropathy. Unstable angina, heart failure, hypotension, and post-infarcted cases, and severe aortic stenosis. These are the conditions which you should avoid giving the calcium channel blocker. These are the drugs available. One is the new drug, that is benidipine. Benidipine is a third generation of the the calcium channel blocker, and in addition with the calcium channel blocker, it enhance the nitric oxide by activating of the enos, and having the antioxidant property, and also having the additional property by inhibiting the transforming growth factor beta, that is the major thing is responsible for the vascular remodeling or cardiovascular remodeling. This benidipine is a very good drug for the prevention of the hypertensive induced secondary complications. Now comes on the vasodilator, that is the hydrology. It is the arterioselective. It releases the nitric oxide, and nitric oxide produced from the endothelium get diffused into the surrounding vascular tissue, and it relaxes the vascular smooth muscle. Blood vessels get dilated and suddenly fall in the BP, and it may lead to the reflex tachycardia or increase the sodium water retention. So when you are giving the hydrogen like drug, you should prefer give the beta blocker or the diuretics, and it may be useful in the moderate hypertension when the first line of the drug get failed, or it may be used in the pregnancy. Minoxidil is a potassium channel opener. It hyperpolarizes the cells, and when you hyperpolarize the smooth muscle of the blood vessels, it dilates the blood vessels, and not a drug of choice for the hypertension. and minoxidil having the additional property that is alopecia, and that's why it is available into the topical formulation, and enhance the microcirculation around the air follicles, and that's why it is not used for the as a hypertensive, it used as a for the alopecia. Sodium nitroprusside. Sodium nitroprusside is a very potent vasodilator and relax both resistance at the capacitance, means the artery and veins also. It improves the ventricular function in the heart failure by reducing the preload. When it dilates the blood veins, peripheral pooling of the blood is there, the venous return of the myocardium get decreases, and therefore it is good for the patient having the heart failure patient. And it is the drug may be used for the hypertensive emergency. Palpitation, pain, abdominal pain, and these are the psychosis, weakness, and lactic acidosis are the side effect. Centrally acting drug, methyl dopa, it converted into the methyl noradrenaline, which act on the alpha 2 receptor and the CNS inhibit the central sympathetic outflow and decreases the blood pressure. It may lead to the cognitive impairment, postal hypotension, and not therapeutically used except in the pregnancy. Clonidine also having the alpha 2 receptor agonist like activity and decrease the norepinephrine, release of the norepinephrine. That is not used nowadays. You can categorize hypertension into three. One is the pre-hypertensive stage, when systolic blood pressure is below the 139 and diastolic blood pressure is below the 89. Stage 1, when it increases to 90 to 99 diastolic and 149 to 159 as the systolic. And third stage, when the systolic blood pressure get elevated more than 160 and diastolic blood pressure get elevated more than 100 at the resting conditions. These are the risk factor: aged, family history, smoking, metabolic disorder, especially the diabetes mellitus and hyperlipidemia where the endothelial dysfunction is there, obesity, and macroalbuminuria. Friends, general principle is when patient is the pre-hypertensive stage, you should start the lifestyle management. Otherwise, according to the JNC guideline, you should start the diuretics thiazide as a low dose drug. Otherwise, you can use the beta blocker, calcium channel blocker, AC inhibitor according to the condition of the patient, or you can use combination of the drug. If it is not controlled, you can use low dose of the more than one drug having the different mechanism of actions. You can use two drug combinations, and diuretics, ACD guideline, angiotensin inhibitor, and angiotensin blocker, or diuretics according to conditions. And when further not controlled, we can use three drug combination, or calcium channel blocker, AC inhibitor or ARB or diuretics, or calcium channel blocker, beta blocker plus diuretics, or AC inhibitor, angiotensin blocker, beta blocker or diuretics. We will discuss on the later on in 2 to 4 p.m. with the Dr. Sandeep Seth. Treatment of hypertension in the pregnancy: no drug is safe. Avoid to use of the diuretics, beta blocker like the propranolol, AC inhibitor ARBs. Hydralazine, methyl dopa, or the cardioselective beta blocker may be used. This is the hypertensive emergency condition when the systolic blood pressure get elevated more than 220 and diastolic more than 120, and without any organ damage. That is the urgency. When target organ damage is there, and blood pressure systolic get increased 220 and diastolic 120 with the organ damage, target organ damage, that is the case of the hypertensive emergencies. And first thing is the manage the target organ, either the cardiovascular accident or head injury is there, maybe left ventricular failure, maybe angina, maybe acute renal failure, maybe pheochromocytoma, and these are the drugs. You can use nitroprusside and at a dose of 20 to 300 microgram per minute. You can use glycerol nitrate at 5 to 20 microgram per minute. You can use osmolol like drug and phentolamine alpha blocker like drug for the pheochromocytoma. We will discuss in the later class 2 to 4 p.m. for the management of the hypertension, different stages of the hypertension. So friends, here we have discussed the pharmacology of the hypertension. If you have any queries, any problem, please write me a mail on hnyadv@gmail.com. I am repeating my email, that is hnyadav@gmail.com. Thank you very much.